The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Welcome. Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Good morning, everyone. We've got a special guest today. We're going to have Grace from Chicago, Illinois area. I've known her over 30 years. She is a classical astrologer, folks. She deals in birth charts. And, you know, if you go into astrology real heavily, like me and Bill Meridian and some of the other folks do, they rely on those birth charts with a great deal of respect. I have always shied away from it, mainly because it scared me. When I started doing this 35 years ago, I was a practicing Catholic, and I was a little afraid of the old false gods thing, and because it literally, some of the stuff that a few of these astrologers told me literally knocked my socks off. So I stayed away from that part, but the number part of the astrology I've always had an interest in, because I can see, you know, the relationship. The difference is an astrologer will make an interpretation of what's happening, whereas an astronomer is just looking at the numbers. I guess I would be an astronomist or something like that, because all I'm looking at, you know, are the numbers of days in between these planets. You know, that's pretty much much the same thing. Yes, Duffy, I was trained I went to school, the Jesuit school, for 16 years, but when I went to the Catholic Church in Vatican, well, that's where the Catholic Church is, in 1988, it just it just really turned me off really big time. Anyway, let's get on to I don't want to get into the politics, because then I will be reprimanded, and I don't like reprimand. Okay, let's take a look here. The first chart that I posted in here, folks, is the S&P. This is the number that is key here. That's that 2050 area. We got down to 2054 late yesterday, and then rallied back strongly on the close. We rallied 20 handles off that bottom. That should be the extent of it. We should have a lot of resistance at 2075, and with the Federal Reserve in here today, anything is possible, of course, but that's mind. That's mind over matter. You don't have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Anyway, the next chart that I posted in here, that I'm going to post right now, in the news today from Jeff Grundlack, who's one of the big hedge fund guys. This is the chart of bonds. Put the wrong chart in, folks. Just give me a second here and get the right one up. I wanted to put in the German Bund, because that's the one that's in the news, and I wanted to show you that about this yesterday. You'll see this is the German Bund over the last 6 weeks, and you'll notice here that we have made a 1.618 shooting star candle. In fact, we have already got below that 165 level early this morning in the German Bund. So as long as we don't get above that high, this has a high probability of being a significant turn in the interest rates. And as our good friend Norm Winsky alerted us to, the aspects that we had coming in on Monday with the retrograde motion of Neptune and some of the other planets. I think it's Neptune and oh dear, I can't remember the other one. Anyway, I'm sure Grace will remind me, but that's what we're looking at here with the bond market. And I posted the bonds just before this, and I should probably post it again since we're talking about it. We hit almost the exact price yesterday in those Treasury bonds that we were looking at. The number was 169.28. That happened to be the high. They didn't do that. They didn't hit the high any higher than that. So that tells us that that's something is pretty close to being where we think it's going to be as far, as a major high. Now remember, these patterns have a tendency, sometimes they fail. They only work part of the time, but when they work pretty good. So you've got to just, take that with a little bit of common sense and a proverbial grain of salt, because when they fail badly, and you certainly don't want to stand in front of them. That's one of the things that we try to focus on, is when we're wrong, because, when you're right, it's okay, the market moves in your favor, but when you're wrong, that's when you have to make the decision, what you're doing at that particular time. If you remember yesterday, we talked about the gold market, reacting, $11 a day ever since the 9th of June. And what did it do yesterday? After it hit 12.93, it went right down to 12.81, down $11.50 from the high, and has held that level at the 11.82 level so far. So if we break below 11.82 in the gold, that would be the first sign that there's going to be a little bit more of a correction, and that's what we'll be looking at as far as the next spot of what we're looking at. Now, the oil market is still coming down. I think there's a great deal of support in the oil market down at the area of the 45.70 level. That was a number. John Logan talked about 46. All I was doing was looking at the 382 retracement from the low that we made back in March, and that would be the same correction that we had those last 2 weeks in March into early April. That would be the same type of correction that we would get at 45.70, and that also comes in at the 382 level of a 45.70. So those are the ones that we're keeping good eye. Remember, we have the Fed today, so that's going to make the markets go crazy. And the reason why is that the liquidity dries up around that time. And then when they're talking, everybody thinks they know something, and they go buy, and then they rally up, and then it goes right back down again. So, follow the patterns. Try not to follow the news too much, because the news is the thing that will, get you in more trouble, than anything else. Folks, one of the reasons why people lose in this business is there's actually 3 or 4 really good reasons, but the number one reason is that they put one is they trade too much. If you're trading more than 10 times a day, you're trading way too much. I can hardly do 5 on a really good day. But if you are trading too much is one thing. If you're putting your stops too close, that's another reason. The third reason is not putting any stops at all, saying that to the market that you know more than the market does, so you're not afraid of it. That's a terrible one. The fourth one is, trading without a plan. And, the fifth one would probably be no money management at all, where you're over speculating, like putting all your eggs in one basket and several of the eggs are already broken. That's another reason. But, trading is a good business to learn, but you don't learn it overnight. There's no universities, schools that give a PhD or even a BS degree in trading. Someday there might be, but we go to the School of Hard Knocks. That's where our university is located, between the streets of Wall and Broad and all the other streets of the financial capitals of the world. But you have to learn it, you have to learn it in your own time, in your own way. And you got to remember to learn by doing, Duffy. You flat out got that right, brother. 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I posted a chart of the German DAX. That's the equivalent of the S&P 500 that's traded all across Europe. A lot of those guys don't even trade the S&P for probably a lot of good reasons. But this DAX really has great volatility, and it is the mother of all indices, folks, because it is a big one. You got $22,000 margin involved with it, and it can move $3,000 or $4,000 in a day without even batting an eye. What I would like to show you here, this is a little bit about technical analysis and pattern recognition, because the whole premise of pattern recognition is whatever happens in the past will happen in the future. And so if you go back to the past, it will help you to understand what may happen in the future with some degree of accuracy. Remember, it's never 100%, but if you can put your odds in your favor, that's what you're looking for. It'd be like playing blackjack, where you have an ace in your hand every time. I mean, that would be a tremendous advantage, when you're blackjack. And also, if you could vary your bet. In other words, if you had an ace in your hand, you could put extra money up if you wanted to. But unfortunately, you can't do that in blackjack, but we are able to do that, with trading. But look at the two triangles in the bottom of the chart there that are listed by time. What I'm trying to show you here is that we're able to You guys are a little nuts over there. Someone said something to me in the room that caught my attention. If you look at the triangles at the bottom of the chart that are listed as time, what I'm trying to show you is from the time down, from the high to the low, was equal to the second part of that ABCD leg, where you see number D, or letter D, that also was equal. So you had time and price coming together, and as you can see, it hit the exact 1.27 level of the BC swing, absolutely spot on. Now, just look at those two. Now, if you could go back a little bit to the left, I didn't do all these because I want you to do some of the homework yourself, but if you go back and look at the time between the 21st of March and the 7th of April, you'll see the exact same time number of bars down. And if you go back into January, from January 26th into February 8th, you're going to see the exact same thing happening over and over again. So when you're ever curious about what's going to happen next in the market, the first thing you should do is to go back and look what happened in the past, because the market will repeat over and over again. Folks, this is not an aberration. Do Twentyman's homework thing. Defy human nature. Do the work yourself. Because once you prove it to yourself, then you have something that it becomes yours, and then you're able to use it to your advantage. But this is where pattern recognition swing trading begins. It's to go back and look what happened in the past, because then you move out in the future. And as we move out in the future, we're looking at these ABCD patterns and Gartleys and butterflies and 3-drive patterns, trying to find the symmetry. Sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't. But when we do, we're rewarded. And when we are wrong, we take a small loss and move on to the next one. But this is where you want to start to learn how to do this, because this is the key, to using these types of numbers and patterns, to help you what you're looking at. Now, we talked about the gold market earlier, where the market was repeating itself over and over again. And as most of you know, the grades are in a great deal of anticipation by everyone for going a lot higher, but there's one particular complex in the group, wheat, which is lagging, but it's still a very, very tradable sequence. And I'm going to show you the same thing with the wheat market that we saw in the DAX. If you'll look at this 135 pattern that we have here, which is more than the higher bottom that was pointed out by Roy Longstreet and his son Bill, and then you can see the ABCD pattern in the wheat, and then you can also see the pullbacks. And what did we do yesterday? We pulled right back down to a perfect 61% retracement, and we've already rallied about 10 cents, off of that bottom. So if you start looking for that repetition, that's going to be a big step into seeing what's going to happen next, because all you have to do is to go back and prove to yourself that these things work. And they don't work all the time, but they're going to give you they work in the neighborhood of 65, 70%. Well, show me a golfer or a baseball player that bats 650, or a three-point shooter other than Stephen Curry that shoots 70% threes. None of them do that, but that's really what you're trying to do, is to prove to yourself, because once you have that belief system that you're able to reproduce what you think is going to occur, and that's within limits, and that's what you always have to be worried about, is when you're wrong. And one of the greatest factors that we have going for us when we're in these patterns and we could be wrong is you have these really long, wide-ranging bars where the whole world wants to be buying this stuff or selling it, and that makes the timing off by just a little bit, or a crop failure like we potentially have going on in the South America. The same way. But, we just started our growing season. We're getting close to the 4th of July already, for heaven's sake, so we'll see. Anyway, those are the things that you want to, to try to do to put the odds in your favor. But when you have these real strong trending days, where you have 2 or 3 times normal, your average true range, then you have to be careful. Now, we didn't have that yesterday in the Treasury bonds. They were up, but they were up in a normal range. They hadn't taken out any true ranges or anything like that. And the notes were doing even the same thing. The notes were actually, doing pretty much the exact same thing that the bonds were doing. And so all of it was fitting together nicely for a potential turn down, and they did turn down. Whether that's going to be high or not, I don't know. But now, if you're in this, you would have a break-even trade, and you certainly have to have, a stop going on in the bonds today, because of the fact that we have the Federal Reserve, and of course they can do anything they want. So your stop would be at around that 169.22 area. That's about 20 points from where it was, but they already broke 1.5 points off the high. So this is another one that's going to be, really interesting to watch with the same thing. Regarding the crude oil, someone's asked a question about the crude oil. We're going to have Grace Morris here at the break, which is going to be interesting because she's a real classical astrologer that I think you'll really enjoy. She really knows her stuff, and she's a very nice lady besides that. But the crude oil has a really nice 382 retracement coming in at 45.70. That's really close to that profile number that John Logan had at 46, so there should be really strong resistance. That would be down a little bit more than 12% from the high at 51 and change. So watch that. As I mentioned, of course, we all know this. Janet's going to be talking today, and so that'll be. I would not be surprised to see that they raised rates. That's just, well, they wouldn't do that before the Brexit. No, I don't think that'll happen. But stranger things have happened for sure. Remember that the Federal Reserve is a private bank for bankers. It has nothing to do with the U.S. government other than that they print the money and then they do whatever they want. They call it a Federal Reserve note. It's not the U.S. Treasury currency. It's a Federal Reserve note. Big difference. So keep that in mind as you go down your trading lanes. 877-927-6648. Stay tuned. We'll have Grace Morris on, hopefully.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, I hope we have Grace Morris on the line. Grace, are you there? I guess we didn't get Grace. Evidently, there's a little bit of a mix-up, so you're going to have to listen to me a little bit longer until we get her on the line, and we'll see. I know we'll have her on because she's already said she wanted to be on, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But I have to show you. This is interesting from my perspective because I have a interest in astrology, but it's only because of the numbers. Let me just show you the chart that she sent us to take a look at it today. This is a birth chart, folks. We've seen these before of how the planets line up and everything. And what we're doing here when we're watching this is that we are seeing where the planets are lined up at any particular house, and that's what astrologers, classical astrologers. Grace, are you on the line? Hello? I don't see her on the line here. I don't hear her. Ah, there we are. Hi, Grace. How are you?
How are you doing, Larry?
I am good. I've given your introduction to everybody. I've known you for it's too many years, 30-some years.
No, it's over 20 years, 25 probably.
It's closer to 30, Grace. I met you in '85, I believe, was the first time I met you in Chicago, up at the Swiss Hotel. I believe that was the first time I met you, as I recall. But tell the folks, how did you get interested in financial astrology? Because you're very successful at it, and we're going to give everybody a chance to go to your website and stuff. But how did you get started? I forgot the story. So could you tell the folks how you got started into financial astrology?
I thought that astrology, the study of cycles and patterns, would be recognized through psychology. Dr. Carl Jung and my master's in counseling, and then I realized that you can see results much better with the markets ups, downs, the individual stocks, the sectors, and so forth. And somewhere along, and I had a lot of clients in the early 80s, doctors, lawyers. I work with CEOs and traders, and people who were really interested in money. So I thought as a Scorpio, Moon, and Taurus, that would be a very good direction for me to go, and I've found it fascinating. Economics is just a very exciting subject.
Well, you've certainly done a good job with your letter. Now, you specialize a lot in IPOs, too, don't you?
Well, we used to say, in fact, 20 years ago in a stock club, I started, we didn't touch an IPO because it didn't have history, and we had to get all the fundamentals and the technicals before we even considered it. Today, you miss tremendous opportunities if you didn't look at these IPOs, and if they are, they start trading on a really good day, they're off to a fabulous start.
Mm-hmm.
If they
We've got the
day that's called void of course, they're in big trouble. And the examples given is Box Inc. And the latest one, just this month, U.S. Foods is going to go no place because it started on what's called a void of course period. There's no interaction in the solar system between the moon and other planets.
We've posted the chart of Priceline, which is one of our favorite stocks. We've got a big Priceline guy down in La Paz, Mexico. Priceline Charlie comes on as our guest, and he's always a really great guest to have on. But you've posted the birth chart, and I know, as you know, I don't follow the birth charts. I follow the the normal cycles and patterns. But whenever I see a birth chart like this, where all the planets are on the right side or the left side, that certainly means a lot. You want to tell the folks what you're looking at in this birth chart of Priceline?
Well, I think what's phenomenal, and let me mention that I put Priceline in my newsletter at $151. That was way back in September of 2009, and of course it's gone over 1,300. It has the classic pattern for a winner, a monster stock, if you will. And when you find this in an incorporation chart or a first trade chart, it is telling you that it's going to go so far beyond what most stocks will do. And that pattern is a combination of Sun, Jupiter, and Pluto. It's the expansion, the dynamics. And in the case of Priceline, it has a Sun-Jupiter conjunction trining, a very favorable connection to Pluto. So it from the beginning had an edge, as any first trade would or corporation would. If you make any combination, if all three are aligned, that's really great, Sun, Jupiter, and Pluto. But any combination of those three planets indicates you've got a winner in stock.
Okay, the next question that I want to pose to you is something that you sent to us, and that is you talk about the overall situation in commodities, and you believe that we're still in a bear market in some of these commodities, as you said in here, that you don't believe until September of 2017 when they'll finally bottom. You still go by that forecast?
That's called an agricultural depression cycle. And it's repeating a 30-year cycle. In 1986, it bottomed in June and finally ended in February of 87. So if we look at that same process, the cycle is usually about 3 years long. And it sure explains not only corn, but the oil. And if you look at gold or silver, if you look at things, commodities, as opposed to, let's say, currencies or in other words, if they fit the commodity definition, then most likely they are not going to really move ahead again until September of next year, 2017.
Okay. Now, the question that someone's asked is, What's your feeling on the gold market? You know, because we've had a rally of $260 off the bottom at 10.30 an ounce, and do you see any long-term potential here for gold?
Well, let me say a couple of things. First of all, with oil back down again, I think this definitely applies to oil. I still remember, and this is way back in 1979, I did my very first financial work. And one of the things I said was that gold was not going to 1,000. It would probably start to decline, and I thought those 50 people were going to jump up and get me. I almost decided against financial astrology, but I stuck to it. And there were several other things, like interest rates, which were so high.
Okay, Grace, we got to take a break. Stay with us, and we'll be right back, okay?
Today, many commodities are trading at relative lows. And now you can take advantage with Everbank's new limited-time, 5-year, market-safe currency comeback CD. This indexed and U.S. dollar-denominated CD offers 100% principal protection and is based on the equally rated performance of currencies of Australia, Canada, Chile, Mexico, and South Africa. These 5 countries are especially rich in commodities, and their respective currencies are poised to do well should commodity prices begin to recover. Keep in mind that no APY, or periodic rate of interest, is paid on the CD. Don't miss out on this innovative new financial opportunity. CDs must be opened and funded by the upcoming July 14th deadline. To apply online and learn more about the CD, including product terms and disclosures, visit everbank.com/TFNN now. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
It's 2016, and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, Swim Lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the three hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we have Grace Morris from Astroeconomics out of Chicago. Grace, I've posted the chart of the moon in void of course. Could you explain to the folks what void of course means and how you use it?
Well, it is a period every 2.5 days when the moon goes into one sign and makes connections to other planets in the solar system. And at the point that it no longer makes a connection, it's called void of course, and any business or if you've ever seen stores open and close or buildings open and close, they probably started on a void of course period. I always like to use the example of politicians announcing they're going to run. Kennedy was the classic example. If they announce, and by the way, Ted Cruz also announced on void of course, your plans go nowhere. So the newsletter I write, the right time, gives the period of time that's void of course. And if it's a void of course day and an IPO is starting to trade for the first time, and it does that on the void of course period, then it's going nowhere, which, as I said, the box ink and the U.S., there are two really good examples of that. You can see it almost immediately, although sometimes limp along, it's just not going to win the race, so to speak. But that is, in other words, a period of time can be just a few minutes or actually almost 2.5 days. There was a period, I guess, when the Equal Rights Amendment in 1956 was put in the Congress and it was done on void of course. Of course, I'd remember that because it meant it was going nowhere. And
Grace, we have a question. We have a question from one of our listeners. If you had to pick one thing, being the classical astrologer that you are, that you had to trade with, what would be the one thing using astrology that you would use to make money? Do you have that answer, or is it just happened to be
Are you asking the question?
Combination? Is there
trade or personal attributes, so to speak, or something that's going on in the solar system at that particular time? In other words, if the
it's
fun, you'll find that millionaires and billionaires, or as J.P. Morgan said, millionaires don't need astrologers, billionaires do, you're going to find the Sun-Jupiter pattern definitely in their chart. And if they are, and here's plutocrats are called plutocrats, usually because they have such a powerful Pluto, too. So they have the Sun-Jupiter-Pluto combination.
So you would take the personal aspects of the...
Hello?
Yeah. In other words, the personal attributes in the chart would be a strong indication it's going to be positive for that person or that particular stock?
Yes, absolutely. That is...
Oh, I think we've lost. Okay, good.
Maybe someone who's doing very well in life, but the person who has the combination of Sun, Jupiter, Pluto is probably the mega millionaire.
Now, Grace, we're going to have to put you on the spot here. Two people have already asked this question. What? And I hate to bring it up, but no, it is what's your outlook for November?
Well, you sort of broke up. Would you repeat that? I heard November, but I didn't hear. What about November?
Okay. Who's going to be the next president?
Oh, well, I just did a webinar on the economy, and of course I did add a couple of charts. Let me just say this. Donald Trump, he has a full moon, and that the sun is on the United States Mars, and his moon is opposing the United States Mars. If that isn't a sign that if he did win, we would be at war somehow, because Mars is the god of war, Aries. And in Hillary's chart, her sun at 2 degrees of Scorpio trines the United States, Venus, Jupiter in Cancer, and her Venus trines the sun in the United States chart. I think she would probably make money for the United States. She would be part of prosperity, whether that would be offering different ways of paying off the debt. That's an issue in itself, whether we need to do that. But I think her policies would be very beneficial to investors and traders and the financial world. It's my understanding that there are probably more CEOs and that really are concerned about Donald Trump, and it's not because they know he has a sun conjunct the United States Mars, and that we would be fighting all the time. Is that a good enough answer? Or
yeah, that's good. What's your feeling on the U.S. stock market from the looking at the stars for the rest of this year?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I've been one of the people who have been optimistic since calling the bottom using the Bradley model on March 9th, 2009, and that really was amazing and a great chance to buy all of Citicorp at $1 and Bank of America at $3 and so forth. I have been optimistic ever since, because using the McWhorter cycles, we bottomed out in housing in August of 2009. We have still another pretty long run to go economically, and also we probably will hit a peak in next year, May of 2017, but we will stay on a plateau through 2018, and the first sign of a declining to normal levels, because we're at high levels, would be between November of 2018 and January of 2022. So needless to say, I'm bearish. I mean, I'm bullish. I can't believe I just...
Freudian slip, Freudian slip. Hey, we're going to have to take a break here for just a minute or two. Well, not quite yet, but soon. Why don't you tell the folks how they can reach you, Grace? Give them your website if they want to, take a look at your newsletter. Why don't you tell them how to reach
a
you?
sample on our website, and we will be glad to send them out a copy. And
It's Astroeconomics, isn't it?
Astroeconomics.
Okay, stay with us. We'll be right back, okay?
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, and we have Grace Morris of Astroeconomics, www.astroeconomics.com, and we were talking to her about her bullish stance on the stock market that's been spot on since March the 5th of 2009. Grace, we had one question that someone's asked, and that is if you had to buy one stock now for a grandchild, which stock would you buy?
In other words, you're saying where is another price line? And also, but I put in Google, which is now Alphabet, at $84, and it's over $700. And even Apple, we put in that was at $28, and so many of those are long-term. In this month's newsletter, if you want a brand new IPO that looks very favorable, ACIA is a possibility. And of course, I always say in the newsletter, in buying and selling strategies, be sure to use a 5% stop. Then that way you keep your money, so if for some reason they didn't tell us the truth, which would happen every once in a while, and a stock would collapse, not wanting to mention countries, but this way you protect your purchase. You can always go back and buy it again if it does come back, and be sure to take profits at about 20%. This way you're keeping your gains and your profits, and it's a good way to make money.
That sounds a good way to do it. I want to thank you for being our guest on the show, and I'm going to have you on again. Grace, if something comes up that you would really like to talk about, please, drop me a email or a Skype or a phone call, and we'd love to have you back on. I can have you on whenever we like, but if you see something, please let us know, okay? Thanks for being on with us today. We really appreciate it.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.